Hi, this is John Isles and welcome to Geometer's Paradise. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about midpoints, and we're going to begin with a discussion of central tendency. Central tendency is a type of calculation that we make to find a value that's representative of a set of data. Data is basically anything that we collect. It can come from like scientific experiments or surveys or anything. We get a set of data and we want to start analyzing it. And one of the ways that we can do that is by one of the three basic calculations: mean, median, or mode. There's a fourth called geometric mean that we will explore later in the class, second semester, I think. Well, first of all, the mean is calculated by taking the sum of all the data points in the set and dividing by the number of points in the set. So I would want to add 8 plus 9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 15 plus 17 plus 20, and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. So whatever that sum is divided by 7 is the mean. The median, I have to put all of them in order. You see that I already have 8 being the smallest, 20 the largest, and the median is the middlemost value. So with 7 data points, it would be the one that's in slot 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The median would be 15. The mode is the number that occurs the most often. You notice that 15 occurs twice. Everything else occurs just once, so the mode is 15. If any two numbers occur the most, the same amount, then there's no mode. But if you have one number that's dominant over the others, that's the mode. One of these three usually is more important than the others, and that's for a different lesson. When we talk about geometric mean, we'll talk about more about central tendency and how it works. But I bring it up only because we're about to talk about midpoints. And midpoints are calculated using the mean, only the data set is only 2 points large. So here we have the midpoint formula, if you will, for a number line. It's 0.1 plus 0.2 divided by 2. So we're going to add them up and divide by 2. We're taking the average of the two data points. So we look here, the value of A is -3, and the value of B is 5. So we say -3 plus 5 is, what is that, 2? Divided by 2, which is 1. So 1 is the midpoint. And if you come in here, you can look and see, here's 1. And if I count to the left, I see 4 places, and to the right, 4 places. So 1 is in the middle of A and B. In class, you will use this table with all of these points to find the midpoint between two values. So for example, here A is at -3 and E is at 7. So -3 plus 7 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. The midpoint between A and E would be 2. When we talk about midpoints on the coordinate plane, we move to 2 dimensions, and we do 2 different means. We do a mean for the x variable and a mean for the y variable. So we look here, the coordinates of point A are -3, 6, and you should probably use parentheses there, so I'm going to put parentheses around them. The coordinates of point B are 3 and 5. Okay, now we do the midpoint of the x coordinate first. We're going to do the sum of the x's divided by 2. So that's -3 plus 3, which is 0, divided by 2, 0. And the y coordinate is going to be 6 plus 5, which is 11, divided by 2, which is 5.5. So the midpoint between A and B is the ordered pair 0, 5.5. And if we look here, we go to 0 and then up to 5.5. You will see that on the left 3 boxes, on the right 3 boxes, and I'm right in the middle between A and B. There was only 1 unit between the two, so I'm right in the middle at 1/2 way between A and B. You can't see it, but I totally pointed at it with my finger just then. Right there, seriously. Okay, here use the grid, and you're going to calculate midpoints of each of these. We'll discuss the answers to those in the solutions video. All right, our final step is to talk about how to use midpoints to calculate endpoints. What we're doing here is we'll have one known midpoint and one known endpoint, and we'll need to calculate the other endpoint. So here A is negative 4, 7, it's an endpoint. C is the midpoint, negative 1, 4. And B is unknown. Now we can see that its value is 2, 1, but we want to perform the calculation. The x-coordinate is done like this. The midpoint goes by itself on the left-hand side, so the midpoint's x value is negative 1. And then the endpoint is negative 4 plus x2 over 2. We multiply both sides by 2, so we end up with negative 2 equals negative 4 plus x sub 2. And then we add 4 to both sides, so the answer is x equals 2, and that agrees with what we can see here. We see the x value is 2, and we've calculated 2. Let's do the y-coordinate now. I want to actually copy this. Actually, let's copy this one. So let's I highlight it and press Control-C, and then Control-V to paste it. The y-coordinate has the value 4. The endpoint has the value 7 over 2. So this is by substitution. All right, now we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So 8 is equal to 7 plus y2 by multiplying both sides by 2. And then we're going to subtract 7, so y is equal to 1. So we added, we subtracted 7 to get that. Then the midpoint, or the endpoint, B has the coordinates x2, y1. And again, if we come back and look, we see that it is at 2, 1. Your practice problems require you to set up GeoGebra in a specific way, and I'll review that in a separate video. And then you're going to locate a couple of points anywhere you want, and then calculate the midpoint between those 2 points.